270 jobs to the town is a significant loss. PFI, Public Finance Initiative, originally expected to be a benefit to the county of somewhere in the region of £25 million. Because of the change in exchange rates, harder now to actually get bank loans, as I'm sure some people may well be aware. That is now disappearing rapidly. In fact, Councillor Mark Stocks has currently raised that in council already, as to whether it is a viable possibility now. And last area we looked at was, what's the alternatives? Cheshire will achieve its 2020 recycling rate by next year. Waste is reducing by 1% every year. Recycling is improving by 2%. When the thing was originally suggested, it was 220,000 tonnes to get rid of. We're now down to 188,000. If we keep going at 3% a year, by the time it is commissioned, we'll be down to 160,000. Unfortunately, in order to make this a viable entity, from a commercial point of view for RS, it's got to go at almost a capacity, which means we will import waste into the county. Which I don't think is a good idea. I'm sure you would agree. Lastly, there is a big push in the retailers. There's a thing called the Courtauld Agreement, which they are actively removing packaging. They're actively trying to stop packaging being developed. It actually needs to be disposed of. Lastly, Quack are undergoing a strategic review at the present time. Cheshire West and Chester. A draft will be out this summer. That will actually cover all areas. It will look at our waste disposal. The idea is that it will give options as to what we can or cannot use, how we can dispose of our waste. If, however, we commit to the RS proposal, those options are null and void, because we are committed to something for 25 years. We can't just turn it off. So that was a major event for us. We felt we should share what was done. The latest event, however, was rather nicer than that. It was actually a pleasant interlude almost. The youngsters in the village wanted to get involved, which is great, because it's not just us oldies talking, it's the youngsters getting involved. And the youngsters actually did two things. First of all, they had a competition, a colouring competition, which George kindly presented the prizes last Friday at Wincham Primary School. What we found then, though, was the youngsters have actually got together, and this is nothing to do with Sid, they've done this, they've got together, they've talked about it at school council, but then they've gone away and they've put together a petition of their own. Nothing to do with anybody else, nothing to do with teachers, they've done it. Which I must admit I was quite touched by, because well, for me it shows us hope for the future, quite honestly. There's a few of them here tonight, because they actually asked George if they could present that petition to you, if you wouldn't mind. There's three of them here.
I'll give them a round of applause.
Thank you. And with that, would you like to say a few words?
Well, Jeff, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for coming. And first of all, thank you very much to the Vics and to Jim, and it's great to have it here. And I've been involved with some of their battle with the inland revenue, which is almost as daunting as a battle with an international incinerator company. But it's good to be here. And can I say this first? On behalf of everyone who has not been directly involved in running the SIG campaign, we owe you a huge amount. To you, Debs, to Jeff, to the whole team who are here. And you've got to remember, these are volunteers. These are people who've got other lives, they're doing their jobs, they've got their families, and they have come together to organise this village in, frankly, the most effective campaign that I've seen in the 9 years that I've been the MP for a constituency that includes 80,000 people. And I think they deserve a massive round of applause for their work. And that's the good news. Right? The good news is that you have an incredibly well-organised campaign here. It is well presented. They've got, as you can tell, dreamt up a good logo. They've got a good name. They've organised all sorts of things. They organised a big petition, which I presented to Parliament a couple of weeks ago. They have got the school competition going. Above all, they made their presentation, as Jeff says, to the planning committee. And as I said, I represent a constituency that stretches all the way over to Handforth. It includes parts of Northwich, but it also includes Knutsford, Wilmslow, and we've had various campaigns and battles and so on. As I say, in the 9 years that I've been the MP, we've campaigned against the airport for changing its departure routes. We've campaigned to save trains in Wilmslow. We've campaigned against various incinerators in this area before. And I promise you when I say this, this is the best organised campaign that I have seen. And that is the good news. This community has come together in a really impressive way. That is not easy. That requires a huge amount of time and energy. And that is great news. Let me tell you the bad news. You have got a hell of a fight. Things are stacked against you. The planning system is stacked against you. You've got to win it at every level. You have to win once. You've got to win at every stage. And that is the way it is. They are a powerful company. They've got a lot of money. They're going to hire expensive lawyers. They've got expensive studies to prove that what they're doing is the right thing. And you have got the people in this room. And there's nothing I can do to change that fundamental truth about this battle, that it is a bit of a David and Goliath. But I can tell you this, you have got a good chance of winning it. But it's going to be tough. Now, I think you have marshalled your argument extremely well. It's very tempting to go for the most emotive argument, which is the danger of incinerators, the toxins that come out of the chimney, the damage to local health, and so on. And I know, I can see from the age of many people here, you're worried about the impact of that, and you're worried about the impact of that, your children, and the like. And I completely understand that, and that's why a lot of people in this area will be very nervous about having this plant. And it's a point you should make, it's a way of garnering support, but in the end it won't be the thing that stops this going ahead. What will stop it going ahead, I think, in my judgment, is if you persuade people that this is not the right place for this, that the transport links aren't right, that the burden on the roads aren't right, that this is too residential an area, that people live near it, that there's a school near it, and the like. And that is going to be a stronger battleground on which you fight. By all means, fight all the battles, but I think you have correctly identified, if you don't mind me saying so, the areas where I think you've got the strongest arguments. And indeed, some of these finance arguments, I think are going to be effective ones with the council as well. The actual cost of this project. And after all, you are all, like me, council taxpayers. And we all have to pay for this thing as well. Even if it's called this fancy thing called a PFI, what that really means is instead of paying for it in one year, you have to pay for it in 20-odd years of instalments. And that's a good argument which I think you can develop. What I wanted to do before we take questions and do this question time, I'm on question time in about 6 weeks' time, the week before the general election, so it's good to have some practice. The point I'd say is, I just wanted to stress three things which I think people in this room who are not absolutely involved in the running of SID can do. They're not in any particular order, but there are three things that you can do. The first thing that you can do is you can offer help to SID. Now they need to deliver leaflets, they need to organise events, they need to print leaflets. This is not an easy thing to do. Just being able to say, if you said, you know what, give me the leaflets for my road and I'll go and deliver the leaflets for my road. It won't take you up, I've spent my life delivering leaflets, it doesn't take very long to do your road. Offer to print off them. Say, you email it to me, I'll print them off and then I'll deliver it. Now, they've only got their computers at home that they're printing these things off on. They've got their printer cartridges which are running out when they print out so many leaflets. So you can help with the delivery of leaflets, you can help with the organisation of events, and that's something really practical that you can do. And as I say, This is not some other bunch of people. These